like to give my characters unique details and scenarios in my pieces. I'm sorry, drop the Taylor Swift. I'm big on anime. Not everything is meant to be perfect. There are times where the mistakes that you make are what make you human. I thought that Manchester United was gonna pick me up one day.
Fuck them.
You said what?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
This is gonna be a long podcast.
Yeah, it is gonna be long. We're just gonna come.
I want to be a man of my word. If that makes sense.
Me
I want to be. There's no way we have this. I don't think we can have the same one. I don't think we can. Do we? Okay.
We can't. We do have the same idea.
No, because it's so weird.
Yeah, he's quite the artist actually, and probably my favorite part of his art is his tag. Aside from the fact that his art is really beautiful, but I find his tag very unique. It's kind of like when you're going to the grocery store and you want to buy a book and you see like the sticker on it with the price tag on it. That's the first thing that kind of like came to my mind when I saw your tag.
Yeah.
And you guys like check out his art. That's beautiful. But in this episode today, we're gonna kind of talk about art and talk about a lot of like deciding factors around it in terms of like or things affecting it in this today's landscape, affecting you or how you kind of like see art with the world itself. So first question, what emotion do you paint the most?
What that I paint the most?
Yeah.
Anger. I'll say pure anger or just dissatisfaction.
That is new. No, because I would always like, and I'm not even going to come out and be like I'm someone who goes and watch like art shows and everything.
Yeah.
But like most of the art that I do see or consume are definitely mostly love related pain. But so is it anger from any form of where anger can come from, or specifically anger from frustration? Like
it's more or less anger from this situation you could find yourself in. That's why sometimes I like to give my characters unique details and scenarios in my pieces.
I see.
And it could just be anger with the way they look, the way they're perceived, and it just changes from time to time, depending on who views their work.
Okay. Do you study art in school?
Last time I studied art was when I was in high school.
So what's like your major?
I'm in computer science. Yeah.
So what's harder, starting the painting or finishing the painting?
It is starting the painting. Starting the painting.
Fair enough. Music or silence while creating?
Music every time.
What genre?
Yeah. Right now, I'm feeling R&B, but all time for me is hip hop.
That's my guy. That's R&B. That's R&B. That's R&B. R&B, guys.
Don't sleep on R&B.
Stop the pop music.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Drop the Taylor Swift.
Hey, Swifties, I'm not coming for you.
Drop the Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, I appreciate you, but yeah, it's not my forte. Yeah. Listen to some Kalani, man, or Kamari, or
Kamari. You see?
Yeah, listen to some good music. What's one thing people misunderstand about artists?
A lot of people misunderstand that. They think that artists are very always edgy, trying to create a persona. But most of the time, in my own opinion, anyone can come off as an artist. You could walk past someone on the street, you won't even know like they're very talented artists.
Yeah.
Because artists are the same way we like everyone else is. Like there's no specific personality tied to an artist.
No.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you just know how to do it, or you learned how to do it, because some arts are learned.
Yeah.
I would say most arts are learned. Like you can innately have like the ability to do it, but then I think you still have to learn to kind of like master skill. And even if it's a formal, informal setting, you still have to learn at the end of the day. So yeah. What's uglier, perfection or chaos?
Perfection. When I say perfection is ugly, it comes from the premise that you're constantly trying to make sure everything is in one particular shape. And the moment it falls out of it, it feels like it's a failure. You're struggling to gain that sense or that feeling of perfection. And especially in my art, I don't try to chase perfection. I try to normalize the chaos behind it.
Oh, fair enough. What inspires you instantly? Like,
I would say media, heavy on music and just the shows and the movies that I watch.
what genre of movies do you watch? Like, where do you like lean towards?
Like, I'm big on anime, but I'll leave anime for another like part of this segment.
I'm big on that. We're all big on
You're all
anime.
big on anime?
Me, the team,
Mhm.
yeah, every single person related to us. Yeah, we watch anime. We dabble in that.
Okay.
In every single aspect of that. So yeah, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
want to get too deep into
Yeah,
it,
no,
man.
yeah, that's a wormhole. It is a wormhole. We'd
Yeah.
end up just like going on a very we end up going this way and then staying there.
Yeah.
And then we'll be like, this is even more fun and just forget about everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's your relationship with your culture?
I will say it's something that inspires me each and every day. And it's just something I always look back to and I'm proud of.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one point in my life growing up or even right now where I felt disappointed in being a Nigerian.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like there's sometimes I'm not a fan of like how our government is being run.
Yeah, but
now.
that's the action of an individual.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like inadvertently being Nigerian itself is we're a very proud set of people.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's like because that's I won't say it's overly exactly how I would describe like my relationship with my culture. I think my relationship with my culture is peace. Like that's my relationship with my culture. I find peace with it. I feel like and for you guys that don't know, I'm Ibira, which is a tribe in the central part of Nigeria in Kogi State, and my relation, my culture is just it's very peaceful.
Okay.
I go to, like whenever I go with my dad to the village and we're there and we're like because we're on a very high ground, like it's surrounded by valleys and mountains.
That's
so
beautiful.
we're very close to the sky. You could see the stars a bit more brighter, and like everything just seems a bit more fresher. The food seems to taste better. Like the livestock seems to taste better too. There's just something in the air with it. That's what I would just say. It's very warm. Obviously there are some parts of our culture that we probably wouldn't agree with, but it's the same with everything you love, right?
True.
Yeah. So I actually really love that you pointed that out. People are not perfect, so individuals will make mistakes, but you can't use it to attribute cultures and everything.
True.
And which is the mistake people make even back home or even here too. Have you hated your work or your own work like after finishing it?
Yes. There's some pieces and artworks I've created where I was like, I could have done better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've told myself day in and day out, like, stop getting into my own head when it comes to creating artworks because nothing is meant to always, not everything is meant to be perfect. There are times where the mistakes that you make are what make you human.
Yeah. But then also, like, as much as I do understand like mistakes and we shouldn't beat ourselves too much, like me being a chef, sometimes I would have an idea of like what I want to do in my head in terms of like, oh, I have this recipe and everything. I have it fine-tuned to the finest detail in my head. But when I recreate it, it doesn't come out the way I had it in my head.
Yeah.
That dissatisfaction between both makes me hate it. And I probably won't stop trying to recreate it because I get what's in my head. And I don't necessarily feel like it's more of a me chasing perfection thing, but me chasing that idea I had. So do you also have an idea in your head of like a painting and then it doesn't come out the way your head kind of thinks about it and you have to like redo it again to kind of like get that to that point? Or you just kind of see it as, you know what, I made a mistake, but there is something still working with this mistake on this. You get, because I know even with music sometimes with mistakes in music and with art, sometimes the artist didn't need to do this, but it ends up being what people like about it. So how's your feelings towards that itself?
Okay. My feelings towards that comes from a place where it's like I do understand what you're saying, where it's like if it doesn't match the expectations I've set it kind of makes me feel a bit let down. But at the same time, I look at other things within that same artwork to appreciate.
I see the little things.
Because it's the little things that count.
Okay. What's something you could never paint?
Something I could never paint?
Yeah.
To this day, landscape. I'm terrible at landscape.
Is it because you don't want to paint it or because you tried it and it doesn't just work out?
I tried it and it just doesn't work out because I'm also a very patient person. And if
see.
it doesn't look like you said, like what I'm thinking, there's no amount of like fixing I can do to make it look good
Yeah,
in my eyes.
yeah. No, fair enough. And last question:
Yeah,
what's more important, technique or honesty?
I would say honesty in what sense? Let me just before I answer.
So, like, sometimes, when you're, how do I put this? When I'm like,
Mhm.
when I'm cooking
Yeah,
and I'm trying to like even relate it to like maybe like in the kitchen or my own art
yeah,
itself. Like sometimes I think about, okay, this certain technique will
hmm,
probably be the way to go.
yeah,
But when I'm honest with my art, sometimes I'm like, I like to do this better. Like
hmm,
if I'm not in a restaurant setting, for example, and I'm, or like even if I'm in a restaurant setting, there's certain things I would do that
hmm,
I have to do it that way for me to feel happy.
hmm.
Me being honest with myself
Okay.
while making whatever I'm making or doing whatever I'm doing. Like,
Hmm.
are there any techniques you use
Yeah.
that, in like a very general point of view, people will
Hmm.
be like, oh,
Hmm.
it's redundant. You could have just done it this way to get to this. But you're
Yeah.
like, no, this is just how I do it.
I actually have the perfect answer for that
Yeah.
because it's something I think about every once in a while when it comes to how I draw.
Yeah.
In the premise that I don't do the whole Loomis, like there's a concept called the Loomis grid where it is
Okay.
you draw grid lines, then you create the shapes of a face out of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that because I'm someone that kind of I don't want to spend too much time on sketching
Yeah.
because in my eyes, painting is also the good part when it
Yeah.
comes to creating the art piece.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been drawing for so many years that I don't really need I view it as a crutch to me.
Yeah.
So in honesty to myself, I don't like using the Loomis grid that much. So I
Okay.
rather draw freehand.
And like, huh. Because even sometimes when I look at your art, the first thing that
Hmm.
kind of pops in my head is, and I, your art is not a caricature type art,
Yeah.
but it's very unorthodox.
Hmm.
It's like you, even the way you draw humans, or not
Yeah.
necessarily how humans are meant to look, but then
Hmm.
you kind of look at it from a perspective of, okay, it's, you know, it's illuminating something else. It's illuminating the feeling more of
Hmm.
the look.
Hmm.
And that's what I see when I, obviously another person might have a different perspective from your art, but this is my perspective on
Yeah.
your art. When I look at it, I'm like, he's drawing human beings based on their feeling and not
Hmm.
necessarily the outlook of how a
Hmm.
human being is meant to look like. But like from your perspective, like when someone first looks at your art, what is like,
Yeah.
what do you usually want people to kind of like take away from that?
I would say one thing I want people to grasp from my art
Yeah.
is really how they feel and how they view the art. Because I could look at an art piece and think, oh, it's just a couple of people dancing. It doesn't mean much to me, right?
Yeah.
But to someone else, it could be me representing their culture in such a beautiful way they never really thought of.
Yeah.
And it just makes them think back to memories they had of said culture.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of bringing out the human experience through my artwork,
Oh,
if that makes sense, because how you view it is going to be different from how I view it,
yeah.
and that's what makes it so beautiful and so unique.
So in
Yep.
your sense, you want your art to
Hmm.
kind of, you know, allow people to travel, to
Hmm.
kind of go to certain emotions. They want your
Hmm.
art to take them to memories or places,
Hmm.
and so that is actually quite, that's nice. That's beautiful. That's actually quite beautiful. Today, to kind of pivot a little bit before we
Okay.
get into another section,
Yeah, sure.
I like with my guests, whenever we bring the guests in, I always try to like, I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, I cook and blah blah blah, and then
Hmm.
nothing. So I would always bring I would
Hmm.
always bring something for them to
Okay.
try out.
Okay.
One of my creations,
Hmm.
obviously, for you guys to try out
Hmm.
and tell me what you think and how you kind of view it and things like that, and then
Hmm.
we kind of go from there.
Okay.
So right in front of us, I
Hmm.
have uh, a double chocolate scone,
Hmm.
has a hint of coffee in it,
Mm.
just to bring out the chocolate a little bit. I think they both marry really well.
Okay.
And here is kind of a concoction. And one thing a lot of people who've worked with me will tell you is I have a very I'm very unorthodox when I'm baking. I like to mix things that usually people wouldn't want to mix or people
Okay.
wouldn't mix. And maybe there's someone that's mixing it somewhere. I probably haven't met them yet, but
Yeah. But
the-
at the end of
yeah.
the day, it's only you doing it.
Yeah, and I'm just very rustic with my own style. And
Okay.
it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to taste the way, the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So this here is
Yeah.
a loaf, but it's a blueberry whiskey spice loaf. So
Ooh.
I made it with blueberries, there's some Jack Daniels there lingering somewhere, and some like garam masala spices all combined together to kind of create this, and just like a simple icing on top, just to like marry everything together.
Okay.
So I would want you to try both
Mm.
and just kind of tell me how you feel. They're all for you.
Okay.
It's all for you to try. So you try it out. Tell me how you feel
Mm-hmm.
before we start to ask you the harder questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Go ahead. Whichever one you want to go for first.
Okay. I'm big on chocolate, so I just want to quickly check this out.
Oh no, you check it out.
Okay. Thank you for this. I've never seen this before. This is like this format. I've never seen this format before.
And please be honest, because if art is shit or anything shit, I would say it's shit. So if it's not to your liking, you tell me, because I would always want to improve in one way or another.
Normally, I don't like bakery stuff that don't have sweets in it.
Yeah.
But this is so rich in flavor. I really like the chocolate one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm so curious to see how this one tastes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
It's yours. It's
Oh my goodness. Blueberry whiskey. So what's garam masala? I don't know
garam
what that
masala is like
okay.
what white people, not necessarily what white people call allspice, but it's a combination of spices. So it could range from like cardamom, cinnamon, cumin, cloves, all like toasted, blended together. It's spice in most of like the South Asian cuisines, or also Middle Eastern cuisines too. You would find a lot of garam masala there, and you find different variations of it. You would find 9 spices, or you would find like what's it called? Our own version in Nigeria would be more of a curry powder.
Okay.
Where we mix a lot of
other spices and herbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So how do you feel about the
Now for this one, I would give it a solid 7.5. The reason why I'm giving this 7.5 is because this one might be a heavy 8.5 or a 9 for me, because it has such a unique flavor and tastes so sweet.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how to describe it. You didn't put any sugar in it whatsoever.
There's sugar, but very little. I don't like. If I get like a custom order and the person wants it sweet, then yeah. But most times I try to allow the natural flavors for you to actually taste that you're eating blueberry, not eating sugar. You get.
Okay.
And then if you want it sweet, you can add an icing on top. Yeah. So yeah. So okay.
This tastes incredible. I like it. I really like that one.
That is nice. So we would move on to our next section now. Okay. And in between everything, you could, if you want to try it out or have a bite or a piece, feel free to. It's a safe space. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next section. So for the next section, we call it the good, bad, and the ugly. In this section, we kind of like have different questions or curated games. We play games in the 3 section basically, and the games kind of come off as questions just to kind of like get your perspective on controversial, non-controversial, or whatever topics that are kind of related to this discussion today. So usually we would ask the guests to curate the experience they want for themselves. So you would pick between good, bad, and the ugly to start with. Some people want to start ugly first, and bad, then good, or good, bad, and ugly. So you go ahead and decide, and then we go from there.
I want to go with the ugly first, just to kind of end everything off on a good note. Ugly, then bad, then good, because what's the worst that could happen?
I see. So, okay, the ugly. In this game we're going to play now, I call it then versus now. So basically we're trying to kind of get your psyche or your perspective in opposition with like your previous self. If it's the same, if it's different, if there are things you're still not sure of, like just that in general.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a few questions.
Okay.
You don't, you're not limited to a sentence. You can kind of answer it whichever way you want to, and we would kind of like dissect it from there. So how did younger Deji define success?
Yeah.
Compared to now?
Compared to now, I would say younger Deji defines success as like the same way any kid that was like around like the age of like 16 or 15 will be like, oh, by the time I'm like 20, 21, I'm just going to have a whole lot of money lying around. I'll be playing like sports somewhere, because in my own head, I thought that Manchester United was going to pick me up one day. But yeah.
We've gone up on the wrong foot. You're a Manchester United fan.
You said what?
Fuck them.
You said what?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
It's gonna be a long podcast.
Yeah, it is gonna be long. We're just gonna cut from here, guys. Bye, guys. I am joking.
So doors that way? Oh, okay. Okay.
I am joking. I am joking, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We'll
fight. We'll fight outside of this.
Yeah, we'll fight after.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, like but what do you think success is now? To you now, what do you think success is though?
I'll say success is the people you surround yourself with, the dreams and aspirations you have at this point, the steps you have to take to reach that point. I don't know if that makes sense. Like what steps you've put in your own mind, like, okay, I could go around reaching this goal by doing this or that. And also just kind of the type of person you want to kids, if you want to have kids, to emulate or aspire to become. Because
so you're saying success is like the little victories, and also kind of like your team, so it doesn't have to be like, you're trying to say like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're getting money from this. It's more or less like your development itself and your values.
Yeah.
That's where, is that what you mean by what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I mean by what I'm saying. Like, I try my best not to tie success to what I have, or more of what I can do and who's around to support me while I do it.
Huh. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Because I would say when I was younger too, I had the same idea of success. Like, I was still saying in a way I still do. I still think having money is part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the only part of it.
Okay.
I feel like there has to be happiness involved. And I think with happiness involved too, in turn, that money lasts longer. And I'm not saying even when it's happiness is not, it won't last longer. There are possibilities it would last longer. But I think to you personally, you would enjoy it longer when you're doing something you love and when you're around people you love. I think it all just kind of ties together in that sense. Okay, what mattered to you then that doesn't matter to you now?
How people perceive me, and just like people's opinions, in the sense of, I don't think I'll call myself a people pleaser, but it did worry me how some people used to view me before when I was younger. But now I'm just like that's not.
You tend to seem that life is a lot more freer, right? Like you feel like you could breathe a lot better when you don't actually give a fuck about what people are thinking.
Honestly, like you feel less eyes on you in that sense. Sure, like someone could be seeing your stuff and judging you, but it doesn't come as a thought to your mind or like affect how you normally carry out your daily actions.
No, because it's stressful, right? Why do I have to care about what you think in making my own decisions? You get, because at the end of the day, even if what I'm doing now, I'll make a mistake in it, it's not right. I think it's I owe it to myself to kind of have that grace to make that mistake myself, right? So it's just a lot more. It's just
fresher.
Yeah. It's more liberating. That's the word.
Exactly.
It's more liberating. Sometimes when I see like even friends or like close people that I know of, like that have that kind of perspective of, oh, if I do this, or this person's watching me and stuff like that, it ticks me off a little because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm even sorry to pivot a little.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel
No
like
worries.
maybe it's a psyche thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really not that deep. I don't think people care as much as we think people care.
I tell this to a friend of mine almost every day when he brings up situations like that. I'm like, you'll be surprised in the most genuine way
That
how
people
selfish
don't,
people
yeah,
can be.
that people don't give a fuck about what you're doing.
No,
Like,
no.
because I feel like, I personally feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's a very, very borderline narcissistic thing for you to feel like
Yeah.
people actually care about what you're doing enough that, yeah, that they're watching, you know, all your moves, or
Mm-hmm.
you have to really, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like, and fine, like, there are people who have anxiety, and that's
Yeah.
different. But in the sense of where you're trying to attribute you doing this to, oh, people are watching me and stuff like that, nah, just do it, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are just living their lives and
Mm-hmm.
they don't even know this. And so I think about it a lot, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's just maybe I'm selfish and I'm just thinking about it from my perspective, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more easier to not care than to care.
You're not wrong, because the tax it takes on your mind when you constantly have to think about someone else's needs and expectations of you, it weighs you down way more than you could ever imagine, especially as you get older. Because once like reality starts to kick in, you
Yeah,
feel depressed. You feel like there's so many goals you could have achieved if you stop caring about what other
yeah,
people thought.
yeah.
And you just kind of hate yourself for that.
You know, yeah. Hopefully, a lot of people who are
Mm.
dealing with that kind of break out of that. Because honestly, I think
Mhm.
it's stressful. It's stressful,
Honestly,
guys.
get out of your head.
Please get out of your head.
Like, get out.
What would younger you be surprised by about yourself now?
About myself now?
Yeah.
Oh, I would say how physically fit and how much I prioritize my physical wellness as a whole. Because when I was younger, I used to be a foodie. I love to eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but like I just never really thought about, like, I loved playing sports, but I always used to feel disappointed. Like, why couldn't I perform or do as good as the others?
Yeah.
Because I was like, why is my body not like kind of matching up with the rest of them?
Yeah.
Like, what was the issue?
Yeah.
And yeah.
But then it's then you kind of look at it from like it's a. But then too, I don't think fitness is maybe it's getting to be a big thing now
Yeah.
in back home, but I don't think it was as much.
No, it wasn't.
Like even
It wasn't.
even if I'm going to like visit Nige now,
Yeah.
for example, I'm like maybe I'm giving myself a leeway of maybe 10 pounds that I'm going
Yeah.
to add when I'm going back home, because I'm like,
Wait.
I'm not sure I can go home and like totally keep like a strict diet when there's this street food here, there's that. Me and pounded yam, nah, me and yam,
I don't know about 10 pounds. I need minimum at least like between like 15 to 20, because you have to think about suya tax.
Oh yeah. I think I reversed my stuff. Maybe 25 now. Suya tax is crazy.
Suya
Actually.
tax, exactly.
Suya tax is crazy, and those guys they don't even. Yeah, I don't know what they put in that shit, but it's not. It's not healthy.
Nothing about it is healthy.
Nothing about it is healthy
The
at
amount
all.
of onions and oil in that thing.
No, it's nothing about it is healthy at all. Then let's not even dive into like the puffs and like, please. Yeah.
That's a whole section I don't want to get
It's a whole
into.
section. It's a whole section. Let's not pivot. Let's actually not pivot.
Okay.
What became more important with age?
What became more important with age?
And what became less important?
Okay. I'll start with what became more important for me. And I think it came from like just the way my dad always kind of, let's say, be known to me when I was younger. It didn't click to me till I got older, where it's like, I want to be a man of my word, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I want to become someone of integrity, no matter where I found myself. Like, I can be reliable, and you can always expect me to reach the end of my own side of anything I involve myself with.
Yeah. Okay. And then what became less important now?
What became less important is in a weird way, I'll say like the insecurities I used to put on myself and all the anxiety I used to build up into myself. It's there, but I do my best to, because I can't remember what day it was. There was something I came across where stress is a very big killer as you get older. Like stress and putting so much stress and expectation on yourself, it starts to take a toll on your body with time. And I really already told myself at that point that I am gonna, obviously you can't reduce all the stress in your life because life is unexpected. But a big thing for me is I'm going to try my best to reduce as much stress as I can to enjoy the time I have on this earth.
Okay. That is beautiful. Well spoken.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do some follow-up questions now.
Okay.
We're done with the you versus yourself, and these are follow-up questions in the ugly section where we kind of like, let me just kind of like see where your mind's at with the current landscape in relations to you and also everybody too, or people who relate to you.
Okay.
What parts of being human do you think AI struggles to understand in regards to art?
In regards to art,
Yeah.
apart from the mistakes humans can make when it comes to art, it's the thing is AI can try their best to mimic or like create a copy of what the human expression of art is, but most of the time even though it looks good and fancy for like companies that see it, it doesn't, you can't mimic effort, if that makes sense. Like you can tell someone took a lot of time into designing the works you see from time to time. Like if you look at Vincent van Gogh, I don't think, even as good as I am at art, I don't think I can create something like that because the technique it takes to create a work so detailed, so like beautiful to look at, you can't just create that with AI. Sure, you could create like a knockoff copy to put like on Etsy or Amazon if that's what you want to do, but AI can't mimic effort, in my opinion, and I don't think it ever will. Like, it will ever be a problem. I think it will just create a new standard for artists to reach. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like it gives us a new challenge to see, okay, can I push myself to the limits of what I thought I could create as an artist and just reach a whole new stratosphere entirely?
Yeah, because like for me, when I started even bake, like what you ate, I didn't mention that to you. It's vegan actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's like 0 eggs or dairy in it. And I always had this perspective that dairy, like, eggs and milk, so important. But you find that eggs are used to bind a lot of times when baking. And I'm like, when I was using like other stuff to do it, I'm like, you see different, what's it called, recipes, or you're trying people's recipes, and you see that you have to probably use flax seeds or chia seeds, or you have to like soak flax seeds to mimic eggs. And I'm like, my perspective was always, flax seeds and chia seeds to mimic eggs to get that texture and everything. I think it was a day I decided to try buttermilk. And I made my own buttermilk and I tried it, and I was like, and that was even more of a mistake because I was like, I didn't have flax seeds, I didn't have yogurt, and I was like, you know what, I'll just use this, and that gave me the best texture you get that I could use in terms of like with baking cakes. And all I'm just trying to say is that if I ask like if I sit down and ask AI for the same thing, they would give me the conventional chia seeds and stuff. Usually AI sometimes won't go down the rabbit hole and test, trial, error, stuffs like that. We would have to do that for them, right? So, because when you get errors, sometimes you get like, you learn from those errors and everything, but I don't think it does in an artistic sense. You get. So no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's, from my perspective, the mistakes itself. I don't think AI could kind of utilize its mistakes or find perfection in its mistakes as much as humans will. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. And it's like, I initially, when that debate about like AI and art came up, I started to see a lot of luxury brands starting to use more of organic artists instead of AI, because a lot of people are starting to see that organic and natural art that's being made by human beings is, I won't say it's always a luxury, but it's something that should be way more priced than it is. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Not like price as in expensive, but it should be valued way more than a lot of people perceive it as. Because you're gonna get tired of looking at AI slop because there's a format, there's a reference it has to use, and you don't want the audience to constantly know, okay, if you're using AI to like create
Yeah,
your
people are
ads
gonna
and
get bored.
stuff,
Yeah,
they'll move on to the next best
yeah,
thing. I'm sorry.
yeah. People are gonna
Yeah.
get bored, and I think there's also something
Mm-hmm.
exotic knowing that someone did sweat, someone cut themselves while
Mm-hmm.
doing this, someone
Mm-hmm.
toiled to kind of get this out here.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bit of satisfaction in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, but if you then kind of like, because I do get it, but there are
Mm-hmm.
also people who actually don't have that nuance in the sense of like
Mm.
in their head they're like, oh, art should be this or art should be that. So
Yeah.
people would want to just reproduce a lot at once, maybe if
Mm.
it's a graphic tee and stuff like that, and they could easily use AI to kind of reproduce a lot of artistic um logos or
Mm.
maybe like graphic art and stuff like that.
Mm.
But do you think that what happens to artistic identity itself
Mm-hmm.
when these styles have become like infinitely like they can reproduce it infinitely? You
Hmm.
get like you don't
Yeah, I
have
get what
to
you're
you
saying.
don't have to ask someone to do it 100 times or spend 5 hours doing
Yeah.
it anymore. AI can probably do that for you in 20 minutes.
I would say it would lead to a lot of pressure and anxiety within like the artists that create those styles because they'll be thinking, oh, if AI can do my job as good as I am I really as good as I think I am? And it starts to put a lot of self-doubt into your mind on like your competence as an artist.
Yeah,
And I do understand where it comes from because there are times where I'll use AI sometimes for like, let's say I can't think of a caption off the top of my head if I'm posting some content that's
yeah.
short term, then it will kind of like give me a very surface level like explanation of what my art is. And it made me
Okay.
realize that it just means you have to, at the end of the day, always consistently work and like same way you do cooking. You have to, there's a difference between like, I don't know how you guys rank it, right? Like 2-star chef, 5-star chef. But there's a difference between those two in terms of skill, effort, experience. And
Yeah.
it's just kind of things you have to constantly improve on to get
Yeah.
yourself
Oh no, yeah.
above AI.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of it is
Mm-hmm.
like knowing like my like personally,
Mm.
I feel like one of the things that I love about my job is there's no ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that room to improve. There's always
Okay.
that room to learn something. Always that room to kind of like keep making yourself better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I heard about the whole AI thing, and I do get people getting anxious and all, like I don't. Firstly, I don't think AI would ever replace chefs or cooks, and
I hope not.
I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it also makes you kind of be more
Mm-hmm.
creative, kind of get in your bag a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of chefs or a lot of chefs or people in the industry that I know, they are even starting to like utilize AI with their
Hmm.
like with cooking and everything, not necessarily to help them build recipes, but to help them gather picture the idea a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if they can't fully like get a grasp of what the meal
Yes,
should look like.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And also like sometimes you might probably like need a replacement for this and you
Mm-hmm.
probably need a quick fix.
Mm.
You can ask those questions. So it could be used as a tool. I feel like it could be used as a tool to make your art better, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it can create the art.
No, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Mm.
So that takes a whole skill entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the end of the ugly section, and we'll move on to
Okay.
the bad.
The bad? So is that worse than the ugly, or was
Oh
the
no,
ugly just a warm up?
the ugly. The thing is, the thing is, it's what's the word?
Mm-hmm.
It's a mind fuck in the sense of like
Okay.
I don't usually no, I don't make the ugly session that ugly all the time. The good might be the ugly part.
I wish I knew that before I picked it, but I guess
Yeah,
I'll
I
find
mean,
out.
yeah,
I guess I'll find out.
that's the fun part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Whew. Wish me luck, guys. Okay.
So we're gonna begin the bad section,
Okay.
and in this game, I call it, or we call it, the
Mm-hmm.
view breaker, in the
Okay.
sense of like we one of our team members is gonna read a view or a point or something.
No worries.
Me and you, we're gonna rate how we feel, or in terms of like how we agree or disagree.
Okay.
In terms of from 0 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
0 being you totally disagree,
Yeah.
and 5 being you agree. So it could be a 3.5, it could be a 2.5,
Okay.
you're split in the middle, it could be a 4.5, something like that.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of listen, and then we rate, and then we kind of discuss about why we made the rating we did.
Okay, like what led to that rating?
Yeah.
Okay.
What our psyche is, and or reasoning rather. So
Nice.
yeah. So I'll have one of our team members.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to steal this for my game nights. Okay.
Okay, guys, first question.
Okay.
Most people consume art without actually feeling it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got my.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was too fast, but it's fine.
I can't clean it off. But yeah, it's a 3.
Yeah. 3.8.
Three?
So we're pretty
Okay.
close. Why do you I know why I put 3.8, but why is yours a 3?
Let me put that way bigger. I would say mine is a 3 in the sense that most people don't even like, some people could walk past really great art, but if it's not something they really like to look at, they don't pay much mind to it.
Yeah.
Or if they don't understand what the artist is trying to create, they kind of just push it aside like, oh, what is this? And just kind of push it away, like they don't really understand what it is.
I see. Like for me, I feel like, because the question was like, for me, like how I interpreted it was, it's art, right? So it could even be music, it could be food, it could be movies. And I feel like definitely I didn't want to put a 5 that I totally agree, because I feel like there are movies where I put on just to kind of be background noise. For example, like I might know what's going on, but I'm not really consuming what the theme is from the movie.
I get what you mean.
Also,
like you've seen the story so many times,
Yeah.
you're just like, yeah.
Or even if I haven't even seen the story, I just put something on. Even music too. But then I also feel like on the other side, there are definitely a lot of songs I listen to, and I feel it in a very I feel it in an otherworldly form. Like I really relate to it, and even some that I don't relate to kind of takes me to another story or another experience. And so I'm really, really, really understanding. I really understand what this artist is trying, or I think I understand what this artist is trying to put out there. Yeah, so that's why I put 3.8. It's like I feel like I definitely do understand most of the art I would see, rather than just consume it. Rather, you get. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I like the answer. I like it.
So let's do the second statement.
Second, all right. I don't know. I thought it would be a list. Then we just write down each reading. Okay, that makes way more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So next one.
Okay.
Aesthetic culture has made art less honest.
Aesthetic culture.
We had something before, but this is actually a hard one.
Yeah, because it's like there's so many ways to look at it. But
it's too many swords to look at it. Actually,
I think I have my rating for this, and I think I can explain why.
I don't have mine yet.
Because when I mention it, like you might know where I'm coming from on it. You see where I'm coming from.
So the question is: aesthetic culture has made art
not pleasing.
Aesthetic culture has made art less honest.
Okay, I might have to change mine a little bit.
Just I have my answer. I have my answer.
You have your answer?
Yeah.
Just one second. Okay, yeah, I have mine too.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Okay. What did you get? 2?
It's a 2.
Mine was a 2 at first, but I might make mine 4.2. Now that you said the question one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you agree with that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why do you agree with that?
So I've seen so much. I'm sure you've heard of Basquiat.
Yeah.
I have seen so many artists trying to mimic the same style as him.
Yeah.
And I get if you're trying to honor or you're inspired by someone's art piece, but you have to kind of also make a name out of yourself as an artist, or make your style scream, oh, this is your art.
Yeah.
Because people are going to get tired of seeing art they've seen before.
Yeah.
And yeah. And like a lot of Nigerian artists, I've kind of noticed, like there's a Nigerian artist, you know, Sloan, right?
Yeah, I know Scone, yeah.
Have you seen like the Sloan dupes where people try and make art that looks
like Sloan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I don't think, and I think with people like Sloan or even Basquiat, and I don't want to compare contrast, but people like Sloan or people like Basquiat, I feel like their art are, they're artists that you could get inspired by and do something similar to what they're doing. But I don't think you can necessarily do something similar to what Sloan or Basquiat is doing without looking like a knockoff.
Thank you.
Because their art is not conventional at all. I think it's just very, it's slapped to the market and it doesn't happen. It's like 1 in 10 or 20 years, people come and do that kind of thing and it works for them. You get, it's like Yeet, for example. Yeet, who like does hip hop. Like another artist doing the same thing Yeet does, I don't think it would work well because it's just Yeet. Yeah, or Ashake, for example. When, like, I don't think anybody could come and give the same flows or what he does exactly, because I think it's for him. Only.
It's suited to his taste, his mannerism, and everything he does as an artist.
I think it's just unique to him, and I don't think But why I picked two, which is me disagreeing to this, is I don't think aesthetics culture has the like, I know it has impacted art. But I don't think it has necessarily, because I feel like you curate your experience of what art you want to see. I feel like sometimes we as human beings, we take away the free will factor in terms of consuming art. We have the free will to pick whatever music we want to listen to. Fine, maybe you can go to a club and then you don't have a free will. But in the comforts of your home, when you're with your friends in your car, at work and everything, you pick what you want to consume in terms of music. You get you go and you look for the songs and you pick the songs. Definitely sometimes some are forced on your ears if you're listening to the radio,
but you choose what you expose yourself to.
You choose what you expose yourself to, and I don't think you expose yourself to something you don't like, or in terms of and I feel like if you feel this art isn't good, you're going to find something you do like. For example, there's this idea that R&B is dead. Like, I hear this from and I'm saying this because, like you said, you listen to R&B, right? Like, when I speak to like my uncles or even my elder brother's like, oh, 90s R&B is always better than now. Or people would be like, 90s rock music is better than now. For example. But I feel like it's not better than now. You're not just finding the right artists.
True. True.
Yeah. Like, I can mention like 4 or 5 R&B artists that people probably don't listen to, but they evoke a lot of good emotions. Like Kamari, for example, sounds a lot like Frank Ocean. If you
I hear but vocally,
he has his own style. But he has his own style. There's another R&B artist I started listening to, Mac Keen. He's like, his music is it's different. It's very soul, has a little bit of funk essence to it, and he does everything. It's beautiful. Even this artist in the US, Sir, under TDE, Sir, he has like really nice songs too. But you create your own experience in terms of like music you want to listen to, and so I can't say, oh, if like the person I feel like aesthetics is killing their songs and probably they're not making good music. Somebody else probably loves them.
You're not wrong, because like a lot of people, like, I'm just going to quickly use Iceman because it's like a lot of people have their debate about Iceman. People listen to Iceman to feel good, like, oh, Drake to feel good and look good to himself. Because I was talking to my friend about Iceman.
That's the art behind it.
It's the art behind it, because I'm like, let someone post an Instagram post to a Drake song. That's gonna become a Billboard song because everyone's like, okay, if it's this aesthetic, let me post myself to this song. Okay, I really like this song, that song, and that's how you get into it.
Like I feel like people overly
Yeah.
deep Drake. Like they they deep it too much. Like Drake is for the party, man. It's for the party, and he also has deep music too, but it's for the party.
Yeah.
He knows his audience and he caters to it, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you know, I'll listen to Shebang anytime.
Nah.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next statement.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
People romanticize the struggling artists.
Okay. And I think I am
I think I have my answer.
I know I have my answer. And I also think I am complicit in this 3, 2, 1.
There's no way we have this. I don't think we can have the same one. I don't think we can. Do we? Okay.
Yeah, we do have the same answer.
Yeah.
No, because it's
so weird.
It's so weird. It's weird. And the thing is, it's weird. Maybe
You go first.
I feel like, and I feel this very passionately. I feel like people have this idea that you have to, you know, start from the bottom to understand or be artistically great. I do get it that there's a motivation, there's a good motivation to get out of where you are or your life situation.
Yeah.
To, you know, really dive into your art as an escape, or you trying to kind of escape from where you are. You get, and or like, you know, people who like play basketball, for example, and come from like a really like, you know, low income housing, and they're like, you know what, I'm putting all my effort in this art so I can take my family out of this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's a beautiful story and everything. But equally as much, someone who's probably like has the richest dad in the world could also put in that same effort.
Sure.
Finding another motivation source. Maybe the motivation source is, oh, I don't want to be under my dad. I want to make a name for myself. That could also be a motivation to that. But I feel like people are so obsessed with struggling artists, rags to riches, that, you know, and maybe sometimes I also have this idea that underground artists makes the best art. And that's a totally different topic. But I feel that personally, because I feel like when you haven't made it yet, you have something, you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, you have something to prove.
And it feels like you have way more of a ceiling than established artists because they have the expectations tied to them. Yeah. Like no one expects anything from you because no one knows who you are yet.
Yeah. And so you're like, I find the purest music, or the purest form of how you want to express your art when you haven't made it yet. Because you're really trying to crash into the market. You're trying to figure out what you want and stuff like that. You're like, you get, so which is why I'm guilty of this before, gatekeeping art. I used to do that before, not anymore, because, you know, everybody's trying to make money. So please don't gatekeep artists or anything. So please don't do that.
Support your fellow artists.
Support your post them. Jesus Christ.
But don't flood your Instagram with it.
Play them in your parties, play them at work. Let other people listen too. Like, you know, it's nice. But like, I just feel like there's just this stupid idea that, you know, struggling art is the best art. It's not. It's really not.
Can I add something to that? It's kind of like the same phenomenon when you meet people that are like constantly wanting to just adopt a kid from like a third world country. You want to feel like you're doing someone a favor. And it's not everyone, like, I feel like they just want to feel like they're doing someone a favor every time. And it's like, why? Like, it's not everyone that constantly needs to, like, they are struggling. Like, some people could already have an established fan base. It's just a case of they're just not being shown to the right people that could elevate their career. That's why I highly agree, because it's like, you may not know it, but you're kind of being a tad bit disrespectful to the artist.
You are.
Because you're making them think like, I'm buying your art because like you need this support. No one is gonna see you if I don't support you.
It's more beautiful if you criticize, you buy, you criticize, you buy, you support if you want to support. And fine. There are artists out there who money is money is money. You at the end of the day. But I still feel like most people would want that support either way and want that criticism either way, because they're not going to improve. I've seen shit art from struggling artists, and I've seen good art from struggling artists.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have one more statement. So let's
Oof.
Social media rewards marketable art more than meaningful art.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Social media rewards marketable art more than meaningful art.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that again. I'm not gonna give you. It can't be that easy. I can't give up that. I can't be that easy. I gotta.
Well, no.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. I want to give it a nice decimal. Nice decimal. Okay. I think I'm okay with this. I think that's large enough. Okay. Yeah, I got my answer.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
What did you put?
A 2.
I put a 4.5. Okay, so it's like from all the art I see on Instagram, it's constantly like it's the same. Like I won't say it's bland, but it's like you've seen so many styles that's similar to what you already see on Instagram that's marketable. But at the same time, it depends on the audience. If that makes sense. Like if you're making art that your audience really appreciates and wants to support and just kind of matches the needs they want at that point in their life, then yeah, sure, social media will reward it. But at the same time, social media rewards artists that kind of push the limits, artists that are really experimenting and doing their best to grow their audience organically. So I would say social media is a good place, but it does like reward some bland arts. But there are some artists that do make a name for themselves with really unique arts. But yeah,
I feel like I feel like they are, because how I view things is I feel like marketable could be described differently.
different how?
Different in the sense of like, okay, for example, there's this rapper Vince Mensa, or is it
Vic Mensa?
Vic Mensa.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does the whole orange peel stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And like one of the things that I really like, and not even to dwell much on that, his type of art is not marketable at all, because he's being in your face, he's being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's marketable.
True.
But I think social media rewards it. And I think of social media for a sense of we, the individuals that are consuming the art.
That we gain from viewing and supporting your
we
content.
that are viewing the content, and we that constantly, and it's not by just going there once. We continuously going back to view the content. That's us rewarding that content. I think seeing it once is not rewarding. Seeing it, you could see it once by mistake.
Yeah.
And come to your timeline, you're like, I don't like this. Like, but rewarding is seeing it once and then going back to the page again to see it more times.
Okay.
That's what I mean by rewarding, right? So I personally feel like there are a lot of not marketable art that we still go back and watch.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
Like I for example, like there are a lot of like what's the word? Like I have this very alternative sense of like seeing things. Like as much as like a lot of people listen to feel good music to feel good when they're sad. When I'm sad, I listen to sad music.
I totally understand what
because like Dave said with the name of his album, we're all alone in this together, and that's how I feel when I listen to sad music. I'm like, okay, I'm not alone in this alone.
Yeah,
there's another person that's lonely with me.
Like in a weird way, it forms a community you would never have formed if you were listening to feel good music.
And feel good music, I personally feel, is more marketable than not feel good music,
because it kind of gives off base level and surface level emotions and how the person feels. And especially like sad music, like one artist I used to resonate with when I feel very sad is Earl Sweatshirt. Especially his earlier stuff where he's talking about how he struggles with addiction, struggling with grief and loss in his family. It kind of shows you how deep a person can feel when they're sad, and how much,
and
I guess the word is
shouldn't
apathy.
Be marketable. and that is not
Yeah,
marketable.
you can't market apathy because
Yeah.
it comes off like, oh, you're saying it's okay to be like this.
Yeah. But it just is what it is.
Mhm.
It's like, so I just, that's my perspective on it. I feel like
Okay.
we consume what we reward what we want to reward. And I feel like a lot of times, yeah, we do reward things that are not marketable in
Yeah.
any way. We reward alternative stuff. We reward things that are not appealing on the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You get. So yeah. So I think that would be the end of our view breaker section.
Okay.
I have some follow-up questions for you though. So
Sure. I'm
Yes.
not going to need this, right?
do you want to use that?
At that point, I'm getting comfortable with it in my hands.
I mean,
I
hold it if you want to. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
So I have just one question for you on this,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Do minorities in creative spaces feel pressure to represent their culture, the entire culture?
I would say yes. Not for every culture, but some cultures, especially cultures like, especially ever since I came to Canada, I started to learn more about how there are some cultures that slowly they're having culture erasure,
Yeah.
where their culture or even their community isn't being represented in media. So it kind of feels like their whole lifestyle, what they're used to growing up, isn't being shown. So it kind of feels like I don't want to say their culture doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but it's not being regarded as something to
So
view.
you feel
Yeah.
like you need to and if I'm going to relate this to you, you
Mhm.
probably feel like you need to represent the Yoruba culture wherever you are.
Yeah.
But when I think about this question, for
Mhm.
example, I'm thinking about it from a sense of like, in your art, it's
Mhm.
like when you're doing art and everything.
Yeah.
Like, so you feel like you feel the need to.
I got you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So you feel like in your art, you feel the need to
Mhm.
put something Yoruba
Mm.
related to your art whenever you make it. That's what that's what I want to throw to you.
Okay. I feel not necessarily Yoruba rooted, more
Yeah.
like Nigerian rooted, because as many Nigerians know, as they watch this, we are very strong in our facial expressions.
Yeah.
So if you see a whole lot of my art, I want to visibly show how that person is feeling through their face, because I feel like from someone's face without them saying anything, like their eyes, it speaks 1,000 words about how that person feels. And I like to show that, like, when like some people are irritated and they're like, like this thing's doing me, like this thing is
Yeah.
like, I don't want to show you I'm angry, but just
Yeah.
know I'm angry with you.
Yeah.
I'm
facial
upset.
expression, yeah. No, I actually get that. I
Mhm.
feel like for me, I won't say 50-50, but I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes it throws me off when I tell people I'm a chef and they're like, oh, like, you're making a lot of Nigerian food and stuff like that. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't box myself in that sense. Like, there would be a lot of Nigerian influence and Nigerian techniques that would never leave, or even
Yeah.
like probably a Nigerian food that I fuse, because I'm a fusion chef. I fuse.
Mhm.
So like, I'm like, there would be a Nigerian influence one way or another, but
Yeah.
and as much as I feel like me being in that space alone is representation.
That's beautiful, and I totally
You
understand
get-
what you're saying. Like you are what you're representing of your people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like me having to always think, oh, one Nigerian thing can I add to this? I think that boxes my art. You get that
Yeah.
just boxes it.
Okay.
And I can't snap out of that sense. Maybe as I grow older I'll feel different, but I can't snap out of that. I feel like I'm boxed if I do that. I
Okay.
feel like my art just speaks to what I'm feeling, what inspires me at the moment. And then, I feel like the representation should come from, me as a Nigerian or me as an Ibira man is doing this, rather than, he's doing something that's Ibira
Mhm.
in his art to represent his culture. You get?
I get what you're saying, because it's gonna put you in a box where you would not want to explore other things, because you constantly be thinking, I gotta represent my culture in this. I gotta represent my culture in
and
that.
it's just like, for example, it's like maybe Damson Idris, for example. He's Yoruba, right?
Yeah.
But he's not speaking Yoruba in all his movies,
No.
or even most of his movies, right? Maybe the new one coming off the Children of Child and
Bones.
Blood and Bones or
Yeah.
something. That might be the closest he would do to maybe like I think he did something Nigerian in the
Like
in the
when he
past.
was young,
Yeah,
like
when he
very
was
young.
younger, but like the art is what comes to him or what they bring to him and how he can kind of portray that. He doesn't always have to. I think the representation comes from, oh, that's a Nigerian brother doing something out there. Even if it's not a Nigerian thing he's doing, he's still doing it. And I think that still represents our culture in the sense of like we're proud people, we're putting ourselves out there and we're, you know, we're being successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my view on it.
That's a good way to look at it because it's like, first and foremost, the way I look at it is, first and foremost, in life, you're always going to represent yourself. You're going to represent your family wherever you go.
Yeah.
Like we're always told when we're growing up. And you're always going to represent your culture, your country and your culture third. It doesn't mean that no matter where you're at, you can just put your culture aside. Kind of be proud of it because you need to establish and bring your culture into spaces it wasn't brought into before.
Yeah.
Because it brings awareness to things that weren't talked about your culture.
Yeah.
Because remember, there was a point, like I think like about a decade ago, being Nigerian, not a lot of people used to embrace being called Nigerian.
Yeah.
At that point, they used to think there were so many stereotypes tied to it. But now
Yeah.
everyone is now Nigerian. But I'm not against it.
23 and me.
Honestly, if I see 5% Nigeria, go home.
Oh man. But yeah, I think I think that was a nice way to kind of round up the bad section.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the good, I guess.
Yes. Okay, I skipped the good, the ugly, and the bad. That's good.
Yeah. So the good section.
Nice.
So we're finally in the good. Gone through the bad, the ugly, and now we're seeing the good.
Hopefully the good isn't the worst one.
Nah. So in the good section, I created this game called Human Way, where I kind of give you emotions in people, and you tell me what you think warps it or shifts those emotions. Maybe makes it negative, for example, makes it the opposite. For example, I could tell you what changes love in people, and you can be like, trust.
Okay.
Or you could be like, betrayal of trust, for example, or something like that. So I would give you I'll give you like sentences, and you tell me what you think kind of would change that in people.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to see how you view humanity. That's what I want.
No, don't worry, guys. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a bad guy. I promise. I'm not a bad guy.
We'll find out.
I'm not a bad guy, but we'll see. We'll
find out. He might be actually.
Really?
So, what do you think warps confidence in people?
I'll say, as someone that wasn't that confident before, I think it comes from just accepting the flaws you see within yourself and being able to stand in front of whosoever you're speaking to or interacting with and just being comfortable with it. Because I feel like confidence is something that is necessary as we grow older, as we try to become more social people. Because you want to have confidence to, okay, let me give you an example. You want to have confidence to meet new people, for example. Because when I was younger, I was so scared of meeting new people. Like, I'd always be quiet. I'm like, what do I say to this person I don't know? How do we relate? I didn't know how to go around it. Then as I got older, I was like, you're thinking too much. Just talk. Just talk and see what sticks, if that makes sense.
So are you trying to say like being comfortable helps confidence, or like you being comfortable helped your confidence?
Yes. I'll say it did. Yeah.
But also, wouldn't you say you like if someone's comfortable, also they could just get lazy and like stay in their hut the way they are?
Now, it will come from, this will seem weird, but it will make sense. It will come from what you're passionate and hungry about. Because in life, you're always going to find someone that will want to do what you want to do. So if you want to stay home and not do anything, I promise you can find someone else that will do that with you. Or you can't do it, because once you set your mind to something, it's gonna happen. Like, if you've Because I get what you mean, where it's like you don't want to make any progress, you kind of just want to stay in the same place. That could also play into where the lack of confidence comes from.
No, I even like more of what I mean is like you said you had that zeal of you wanted to be out there and things like that.
Yeah.
But I also find with certain, like, if we're trying to say, like, I would say, yeah, you being comfortable helped your confidence, right?
Yeah.
But I would also say in the other sense of that, someone being comfortable also, you could be comfortable with not being confident and just stay that way. You could be comfortable with how you are in terms of like, oh, I'm in my shell and I'm not like, I don't need to come out of it. I'm like safe here. No
Like
one
you
needs
have
to,
everything you need within your space. Okay. I would say,
and I'm not saying it's good. But like,
I'll say, I guess at that point it's good in the eyes of that person, but I'll say a good way to overcome it is dissatisfaction. Like you're dissatisfied with how lonely you feel at times. You're dissatisfied with how you're unable to do so many things you'd love to do because you're not able to reach out to people or speak to people. Because that dissatisfaction, it creeps up in most people. Then some people will like decide to stay there, but most people will be like, okay, I want to make a difference. I want to make a change.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just takes longer for some people than it does for others.
Okay. What changes the way people love?
Ooh, love. R&B made me love. Okay. Yeah, love. Yeah, I like that. It made me love. I would say like we were previously talking about before, like trust.
Yeah.
Trust is a big factor, but it's also just acceptance with what you're getting out of the person.
Yeah.
Like if you're satisfied and you know the person you're with has these flaws that they want to work on, then yeah, you can stay with them. The flaws, the insecurities that come with it. It's all parts of life. Life isn't meant to match an aesthetic that we see online. Life is about being able to experience everything that comes with it alongside someone else.
That is nice.
Yeah.
You know what I think changes the way people love?
Yeah.
Reciprocation. And as simple as that. No, as like I feel like it's as simple as that. I feel like as much as we try to say that, and the thing with love is, for me, is how I love without thinking about how you're going to love me. But then the one day I think about how you love me, if it's not up to standard, I feel, so I do feel like definitely it's not a deciding factor when you start to love, but to keep it the same way, or to keep it kind of like going, or to keep it stronger, there has to be reciprocation in a certain degree.
Like it shouldn't feel like someone is giving 100% while someone else is not giving as much as they should. Is that what you mean? Or like
I don't mean it from a perspective of, I don't think people need to give 100%. I think we should normalize meeting halfway, because people feel differently, right? I feel like the reciprocation I mean is you having me in mind. Like,
okay. In what sense?
I don't know how to put this out, but like maybe maybe while I say it, it would kind of like make more sense.
Okay.
Like,
because I think I'm kind of getting what you're saying, just a little bit
in
more.
the sense of like, like the way I love, I'm a very act of service type of person. For example, I love a lot, and I love giving a lot while loving.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that because I want you to be an act of service person to me in return. But though I don't expect you to do it, subconsciously I also still want you to do it once in a while.
Something you'd appreciate
if you do it once in a while.
Okay.
So that changes the way I love. Once I notice that I kind of feel taken for granted, because I feel like perspective is, even if you feel like I don't want you to do that, you doing that helps it. And it might be toxic to say, it probably is, and fine, if that makes me toxic, that's okay. I don't mind, it's all good. But I feel like that is very important. I feel like it shows care, it shows remembrance you get within that. And I feel like that changes the way I love. And I've seen that changes the way a lot of people who are also act of service individuals like me love too, in the sense of they feel taken for granted. You get. So yeah.
That makes sense. I don't think what you're saying could come off toxic. I think it's beautiful to see someone else express your love language in through themselves, like them expressing your own love language. It kind of shows that you're being seen and heard and your efforts are being appreciated.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes sense.
What changes creativity over time? What do you think is the biggest thing that changes creativity over time?
One artist I love listening to that always says is Tyler the Creator. He always says it's life. You just need to go out and literally just experience life, kind of understand how you're feeling at that point in time.
Yeah.
And kind of, yes, it's okay to be overwhelmed with the emotions you're feeling because we're all human beings at the end of the day. But what makes you such another like level of artist, like superstar status, is when you're able to put that in music, in movies, in art. You're able to create the genuine emotions and like issues you have within your life in the music and media you create.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
What changes the way immigrants see themselves?
I'll say what changes the way immigrants see themselves is when they do their best. Like, there's nothing wrong with embracing the culture of the country you're within, but always remember who you are as like where you come from, in if that makes sense, your heritage. Don't, like, I can understand, like, not a lot of people in the Western like society will be a fan of quote unquote your heritage because it's not something they're used to. But at the end of the day, it is your heritage and not their own. And you do not want to lose sight of it, because that's when one day you realize that I feel so disconnected from my culture. I can't find it hard to communicate with people where I come from. But at the same time, don't only just stay with your culture, if that makes sense. Adopt and embrace other cultures. There's no harm in doing so. And that's why I like Canada.
So you're trying to say that what changes, like if immigrants are kind of like trying to overly fit into a culture that's not theirs, like because they feel ashamed of theirs.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like by the book what we see around. But I feel like in my personal opinion though, like I feel like what changes the way immigrants see themselves are your fellow immigrants themselves.
So is it how they treat you or how they make you feel within the community?
I feel like we have this, not just necessarily only Nigerians. I feel like every other culture, I think we have this idea in our head that we're abroad and we all have to talk to each other because we're Nigerian.
Oh, and not really connect or network with any other race.
No,
in that sense.
I feel like if you're connecting or networking, you connect based on people you connect with and people you feel like you can gain from or you need things from. I think race or like culture and everything shouldn't be the first basis of communication.
Yeah.
I think we're in a human society where it's very multicultural. First hint of communication is, oh, that's a nice guy, or oh, that person says something that intrigues me and I want to talk to him and stuff like that. It shouldn't have to even be the color or like, but I feel like there's this innate thought in the head that, oh, he looks like me, he speaks the same language, and let me go talk to him. Whether we both have the same values or not. And that's where things kind of, and I'm like, that changes the way I would see myself, for example. You get, because I've had moments like that, and this is not even me speaking from a perspective of what I see. I've had those moments where I would want to talk to this person just because they're Nigerian. Then after a while, I keep hanging out and I'm like, I don't really like this guy.
Like, you don't have anything in common, but it's just, and like from what you said, I feel like now I kind of have an idea of what your question is. It's like, the way I look at it, you kind of disassociate every other thing from their life but their culture. You just see them as, hey, you're from the same country as I am. Nothing else you like or dislike matters to me. It's just the fact we're the same skin tone.
So I'm like, And when I'm like out there, I'm
Yeah.
like, what helps me see myself better is knowing that, oh, I'm like more than skin, culture, and all that. As much as that is also still part of my identity, I'm more than that. I have my values, I have my and everything. And obviously, and don't get me wrong, one of the reasons why I love hanging out with a Nigerian or even with an African or someone who's like ethnic per se or
Yeah.
non-white per se is there's certain jokes and there's certain things we would get
Yeah.
that you would have to explain to another person. You get, and that's nice. It's always nice to have those moments. Or even when my sister came to see me, for example, we're speaking the same language. Like, that's nice. But then, like, you know, if that's the only basis, then everything's gonna be more surface level, or you know, we're gonna be deceiving ourselves at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah. I don't know what wormhole we went through in that question, but we did.
I do like that question.
Yeah.
I like that one. I really like that question.
What changes friendship as people grow? That'll be the last one for me today on this.
Last one. Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel like it ties back to a previous conversation we talked about on expectations, what you expect versus what's actually happening in your life. A lot of people think proximity is what makes a friendship stronger.
No, it doesn't.
It's a big lie. There are so many friends I've not seen in years, but if we see each other, we'll probably give each other like the biggest hugs you've ever seen.
Yeah, it'll be like we haven't been away for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, because at that point, time isn't really a factor. It's more or less what the foundation, what really makes a friendship, if that's right. Like, what was the question? What makes a friendship strong?
No, what changes?
What changes
friendship as people grow?
I would say demanding a lot more from your friend than what was initially the basis of your friendship.
I see.
Like, it is different if it's like actually, no, I won't say it's different. It still kind of ties in relationship and friendship. Just those kind of things. If it's something that the other party didn't bargain for when you were initially friends, it kind of feels like you're dropping a load of what they couldn't have expected. Like, let's say you want them to be more vocal about something that, let's say, it doesn't really sit well with them. It's not something they're comfortable with. Then you're putting your friend in a hard spot because there's not much they can do to speak about in that conversation. They feel like, oh, this is too much for me. The pressure is too much. You're not really the person I thought you were. And it kind of makes the way you people view yourselves as friends diminish because you're tying expectations that weren't there from the beginning to them.
I see.
Yeah.
So that is actually a very finite answer because I was actually looking for a way to kind of concise what you were saying now, but it's pretty concise in itself where you feel like you're tying expectations now that wasn't originally there when we started the friendship.
Yeah.
But then also people change, don't they? People do change. Like expectations can differ. Like I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. And I would say this for a fact that this is why we have close friends. We have friends and we have, you know, friends that are kind of like similar to acquaintances now. Like, for example, I still have a group chat going on 10 plus years now. I graduated from high school in 2016. It's 10 years ago this year, 10 years in July this year. We still have a group chat that's running since 2016. And we still, me and the boys, like, shout out to all the boys. All my guys, shout out to all of you. But like, we still chat and we still check in on each other from time to time, even if it's like once every 3 months or once every 4 months. We check in on each other. And I feel like, but I also feel like in the other sense is like, and I mean no disrespect to any one of you, is I know that if we all hang out closely, I am sure there are some of you I would never talk to anymore again because we're different people.
No, I get what you mean. It's like that's what you mean by change. Like how you used to view your friend would change with time.
Yeah, and also like how we also view things. Like we might have different views as we grow due to different life experiences that makes us not agree on things anymore.
Okay.
You get, and that's totally fine. You might grow up and like you have this perspective of, you know, maybe this or that. You have a very conservative mindset of thinking, and I'm not I'm very liberal. You get. So in that sense, like I just feel like that's probably the biggest change with friendship for me is you having so many experiences and your life, you're kind of like your ideology is changing within that, and maybe your friends don't have the same ideology. Like now I'm like on a very work mode. I work a lot, and if my friends are not okay with that, we can't be friends anymore.
True.
You
Because
get.
at that point, is it that you need me to constantly be around for a friendship to be solid?
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean about that.
I can't baby my friends anymore. It's not a yeah. So I have a follow-up question for you, and this is even to pivot from this whole thing because we're done with that game.
Okay.
And has living in Canada changed your artistic identity?
Yes. I'll say yes, it has.
In what
If-
sense?
I'll say yes in a very good way, where it was that when I was in Nigeria, one thing I didn't really appreciate, not I love Nigeria, but it was like when I was younger, being artistic or creative in that sense wasn't necessarily encouraged to the way I would have appreciated it to have been, that it does in Canada. Like I really like the person that really inspired me to really pursue arts. That was my teacher. Was my first art teacher when I was in high school year. She really saw I had a passion for it. I was constantly trying to learn and improve myself as an artist, even though I wasn't the best in the class.
When did you move to Canada? Sorry to pivot.
I moved to Canada in 2021.
Okay.
2021.
So you moved here for university, or you moved here for high school and then university?
It was high school, then 1 year of high school, then university.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So okay, so you got to experience the high school life and then the university life.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So like in terms of like being an artist, like in high school and then in university, how was that different in terms of like perception? Like, because I do get it. Like even the one thing I do know that Canada has kind of changed, like in perception of me with art is trade is valued a lot here.
Yeah.
You get. First culture shock for me was taking my clothes to a mend, and you know this, for a mending a cloth back home, it's less than $1.
It's not that expensive.
It's less than $1.
Yeah.
But I came here and the lady called $40 for me to for me to crop my jacket and she called $40, and I looked and I was like 40, and she's like, and she was meant to be the cheaper option. And then you do like little things, like you want to repair your shoes and stuff like that, and you hear kind of like the amount, and you're like, you start to realize that art isn't as appreciated back home as it is here. People actually value the time people are using to weave, sew clothes, even cutting, doing all of that. It's a bit more appreciated.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, back home it's seen as it's just a side job. You get, if you don't make it to a point where you're like sewing clothes for like the 1% or the 2%,
like just established people, they view you as a less than, or you didn't really make it in your field.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably what changed my my artistic identity, is that when I got here I actually felt like being a chef is a career I can pursue and be valued for it at the same time. And that's not to say there are not chefs in Nigeria that are valued, but I think that market, you have to really, really attack it way too much. And you have to be okay taking a lot of ridicule.
True, and you have to constantly get people to take you seriously.
Yeah,
because it's very easy for them to undermine your work. Being
they don't think you're doing a real job. They don't think you're doing a real job.
They're like,
if you're not a lawyer, a nurse, or a doctor, or like a engineer, then you're not doing a real job.
Exactly.
So that's actually pretty nice from your perspective on that. But that would be the end of our good section.
Okay.
And we're coming off to where we round up.
Okay.
Which is it's basically, we kind of create this space where you talk about a topic that you feel like people need to hear, or a take that people need to hear?
I think I got a juicy one. I think I have a good one.
You have you do.
Yeah,
You
I
do.
think I have a
Okay.
good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's give him the space. He's the host now.
I'm the host?
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
not. Yeah.
So I don't talk to that
Oh
camera.
no, you even get
I
this.
get. Oh my,
yeah.
thank you very
does.
much. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm glad to be in Breaking Views today.
Yeah, you're glad to be here.
Yeah, and I'm here to like speak to Deji, and Deji's going to educate me on his perspective on what do you want to talk about? Tell me.
Let's talk about social media today and how it's created such a huge disconnect with our generation, created so many false expectations we could have never perceived in earlier generations, and how it's led to so many gaps in either the norms, and gender stuff that we've got going on. I think the one I'll start with today is how social media has warped our perception of what love is and how we're meant to show it and appreciate it to other people in different relationships, like in friendships and in relationships, or even in terms of family, what true love looks like, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I feel like the first red flag I knew, like, we're slowly gonna get deep fried as a generation was when we started doing man versus woman. Like, I don't know where this came from.
You know, like you talked about love, for example. Social media gives us this perception of what love is meant to look like.
Yeah.
But as much as I did fall into the trap of that too, I think me snapping out of it was me realizing that love is messy. It's dirty, it's good, it's everything all at once. That's why it's a lot of feelings, right? So, but like social media makes you think that, oh, it's meant to be like this, it's meant to be like this, meant to be like that. But no, like a lot of times you're out of it too. And that's also part of it. And don't talk about it as much. There's this false identity of what it's meant to look like. But what it's meant to look like, it's based on your perspective and your partner's perspective, rather than, nobody understands it except you.
Exactly, because dynamics in relationships change with the people.
Yeah.
And it, like, over time you start to get an understanding on how you communicate with each other, how you show your united force as a couple. And I feel like a lot of people on both sides, and what scares me, and I'm talking about more for, is the younger generation, children that are growing up during this era. Because I've seen so many kids just say like the most disgusting stuff, like online, in terms of just what they think love is. And it's like they're just experiencing so many adult themed topics at younger age. Like when I was like 15, 14, I don't think stuff like cheating, sex, and those kind of stuff were on my mind at that age, because I was kind of just embracing childhood and enjoying that experience. But I feel like the exposure to social media at that age has started to make them grow older than they should have at that point in time. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't think it makes them grow older. I just think it makes them think they're older. Right? Because I think growing older is, I think I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's an experience thing. And you can't fake that. You can maybe fake being deep. You can, but at the end of the day, you can't really fake those experiences. It has to happen for you to kind of learn from it. You might speak from a perspective of right or wrong, but I think you have to have experience to have nuance in topics. Like, but also aside that, but like you're like, okay, you moving from Nigeria to Canada, for example, and then like, sorry to pivot.
No worries.
What year are you now in university? Are you done? Are you almost done? What year are you now?
I'm in my 4th year and I'm done.
You're
done.
graduating.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
Thanks. I'm graduating literally next week.
Okay. Okay. Guys, you're all invited for his graduation.
Yeah.
And he's throwing a huge party with a lot of food. And I would give his address in like 2 minutes so you guys could storm there and actually party.
Yeah.
But what I actually really, really wanna talk about with this is like you're going into the job market now. And you were mentioning social media takes away like perception and everything. Do you think social media is making you more scared about going into the job market, or it's making you confident into going into the job market and actually like, being in the workforce and everything? Do you think that's like, do you think all that, do you think AI too, because they're all part, right,
Yeah.
is messing that up for you? Is it making you stressed about, or what's your perspective on that? That's what I'm trying to allude to.
Okay. My perspective on it is it's making some jobs look like they're easier than what it actually is. Because there were so many times when I was like going through my years in university, I'll be seeing so many like because I started doing a lot of content creation and art, I tend to be online way more than I used to be. So I started to see like different arguments and topics talking about how easy it will be to be a software engineer, a data analyst, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not as easy as they tell you it is online.
Yeah.
Because it's like they tell you it's easy to get you to buy a course or like into wherever they can teach you to make it look like it's easy, but it kind of dilutes the like not dilutes, what's the word? It overflows the market with people that don't really have a passion for that job.
Yeah.
They just want to pick what's easy to them.
Mhm.
And it's like,
And not just
yeah.
even easy, but successful. Like it paints a very dainty picture of success in the sense of like, oh, there's so much money in this. So if you study this course or if you go for this job and everything, the market is big and you're gonna make money and you're gonna like be successful and have like an apartment and everything, and which is really not that. And
Yeah.
which is why I'm really pro passion, and I think you really need to love something, because when it's hard, you'd still graft. You get like this week, I'll tell you for a fact, this week probably like the hardest week I've had being a chef, in the sense of like I'm physically tired.
Yeah.
Mentally, I am tired, but I'm still gonna show up tomorrow.
Doesn't feel like it's anything else you'd rather do but cook.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
love this. You get, I
Yeah.
love it. I would still go tomorrow. I like it's been a very tough week where I felt in my head, if I didn't love this, 2 weeks. My
Like,
2 weeks notice.
You'll be pulling your hair out, going like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this to
Why
myself?
am I doing this to myself? So that's the thing, right? And that's even like the one thing that you find, and why a lot of people are also miserable back home and even here too, is in the sense of like they're just, everything's just so diluted, in the sense of like, okay, you know what, I'm making money off of this and I'm not doing what I love, I'm not pursuing my passion.
Yeah.
Like I'm just, the money is good and that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, we should lean more towards happiness now. But I think social media has kind of put us in the perspective of what happiness should look like. And it's like, and money does make you happy.
Yeah.
Being able to buy the stuff you want does make you happy.
Yeah.
But I think also when you're doing something you love and you have that, it tastes sweeter.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you ever have to retire from that. You get.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm speaking from a very privileged perspective because I'm here now, I'm doing what I love and everything. But I think, we need to start choosing ourselves one way or another, even if it's a little, even if it's a side hustle, doing your passion. Pursue your passion in a way. It's, that's my take on that.
The take makes sense because it's like even like the job like my parents do, they do jobs where most people will think, okay, it's boring, it's like routine in and out, but they love what they do. It's something you catch them in the middle of night studying and getting better at.
Oh yeah, my
So,
dad too.
you see what I'm saying? It's like if it wakes you up at night to want to get better at what you're doing, then
What do they
you're
do?
in the right place. My dad he works in financial market, but my mom's an engineer.
Okay.
But she also does arts.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice.
Exactly. So she found like the balance.
That's
very
nice.
well.
It's like, because you have to find the balance. Like my dad's an engineer.
Yeah.
He loves the manufacturing side of engineering and everything. But I think the part that he really, really loves also is he loves animals a lot. He loves animals to the death. And
photography?
No, like just taking care of animals.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like, I don't know, I think we as a society need to find that balance between work and passion. And even though your passion doesn't make money, I think
Yeah.
you should still try and, excite that part of yourself and not have to live through social media or live your passion through social media. You get so yeah.
No. I have a word for that I was taught when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's called Ikigai.
Oh yeah, Ikigai is the Japanese word about balance. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's perfectly describing what you're talking about. And I can't remember who was talking to me about it, but they were like, they used to look on social media and think, oh, my life isn't the way I want it to be because it's not what I'm seeing on social media.
Yeah.
I get the pressure of it because there are times I see artists that like in my head, I think I'm the best artist at what I do. Like the same way I think you should always do that.
Yeah.
I see people that aren't as good as me being a bit more successful than me. I think that form of jealousy and hatred builds like something very like toxic within you, and it makes you, without knowing it, a very resentful person. I'm sorry. I have to say, because imagine, like, think about when you're younger and you used to play in the playground, then older people will come and like be mean or rude to you, going like, oh, you gotta grow up, you gotta, like, that's what it feels like. You have to kind of you have to kind of embrace the fact that your life isn't where it's at and be okay with it, because when you get better, you're always going to want more as a human being. So it's gonna happen.
To end the episode, I'm gonna say hating is necessary.
Yes.
So,
I advocate for hating.
hating is necessary, guys.
It shows your heart is still working. It shows that your heart is fine.
That is the quote of the day. Deji said, hating shows that your heart is fine. So with that, we're going to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much, Deji, for coming here. Thank you guys. If you're still listening, thank you so much for listening to this episode and us just chatting a lot of shit. Okay. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to link a lot of Deji's work on the description. Please follow his socials. Please buy his art. Please support. Please give him feedback. If it's shit, tell him it's shit.
Yeah, if you hate my art, personally, DM me. Tell me how bad it is.
Tell
me
how
shit.
Bad. Be a hater.
Yeah, be a hater.
Yeah.
That's how I know that you're a real human being.
Be a hater, but please engage.
Yeah.
This was a really, really beautiful episode. Catch us next week for the next one. It's been me, MJ, or Mujahid for long, and Deji today.
Yeah.
And take care.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.